I guess if I just start talking, I'll figure something out. I haven't done any exercises. That's for sure. Physical, voice, what have you. Although, I do exercise my mind, playing Sudoku and other types of challenging word, number games, just stuff to make you think. And I do attempt to make myself and other people think about various things, challenging ideas, taking other challenges from other people. Just got finished having a conversation about if this place became automated. It's with a coworker. And he was talking about how, well, he doesn't really trust a machine because it could malfunction. I said, well, sure, but humans malfunction all the time. You can have one machine with one malfunction, and sure, that might slow the process down or even put it to a stop. But what about the times that it doesn't malfunction? The hours and hours and hours of time that it's working compared to a human. If you take 10 people and you account for every single break they take, let's say it's a 12-hour day, just like mine. Let's take mine. 12 of those hours, they're not working. So that's half the day completely gone that they are not working at all. If you have 10 people doing that, that's 120 hours in one day that are just gone. Now, if you take a machine that's able to replace all 10 of those people, one, it won't need food, it won't need sleep, it doesn't need to take a smoke break, it doesn't need to have sex, it doesn't need to pee, it doesn't need to do any of these things. It doesn't need to have a lunch or a breakfast and a dinner. It just keeps going. And it goes at a faster, more predictable rate than the human will. The human will modulate, it will fluctuate. The machine will be constant. And this is why automation, as it continues to grow, has every potential for taking over a large percent of jobs that currently exist right now, especially no-skilled jobs. Look at McDonald's. How many of those people actually need to exist in the building? Think about it. Flipping burgers. Okay. Well, McDonald's, honestly, they cook their burgers pretty much the same all the time. I don't think you can really get a medium or medium well or medium rare or rare. You're getting the same cooked through burger every time. Why? Because of health and standards. You have to follow the standards of health code. So, burger of X consistency of meat and fat and whatever else is in it, cooked at a specific temperature on a griddle for X amount of time, bam, done, cooked, over with. You get a machine and then scrape off everything, do that real nice and quick, do it again. Cleans it off, nice and easy, no real deviations in its ability to clean, so it's done. And then, the burgers slide out and they land on their patties, and a person was ordering their burger, let's say, on a web app at home or on the road or in the drive-thru or at a touchscreen drive-thru thing. Deet, 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 deet. What do I want? Where do I want them? Etc. Personalized orders. Bam. No big deal. I want my Big Mac without onions. All right. It's just not going to add onions. It'll do the exact same process it would normally do. Slide it down the line. It would stop, where at onions, but the onions wouldn't go, and it would go on to the next item. And then I'll just slide on, no big deal. Drop them on, etc. You don't need humans for McDonald's. We have them because we don't know where to put them. We think we need to have jobs. Sure, doing is great for us. And, people are afraid that robots will rise up, kill us all. The Matrix, Futurama, Terminator series, etc. They all have the same idea, that mankind will be killed by the robots. But will they? I don't know. I don't personally think so. I think that it's just a fear that people have that is epitomized in media because it's dramatized. It validates an insecurity associated with their own career mortality, if you will. It's like, well, maybe not necessarily just career. It could be anything. We all have insecurities about not only our own mortality, but also the mortality of what we can do. If what we can do can then be replaced by robots, then what value are we? Well, we still have value. You aren't just your job. Just because you're able to gut a fish doesn't mean that you lose value when a machine can do it 50,000 times a day. And you can't. You can learn. You can grow. But so few people seem to think that they can. And this could be for many reasons. It could be because they're older and they feel like it's not worth it. You know, they've done all the learning and growing. They just want to skate along until they die. I don't really see anything wrong with that. Personally, I don't want to do that. I would rather continue to learn. Granted, I'm also not like 85, which is apparently old. So, but it used to be that like 60 was old. Now you see 60-year-old people who are in great shape. You also see like this, I think he was in his 50s, guy that was up here not too long ago, a couple days ago. You know, he's having some chest pains. Ambulance comes and picks him up. He's like 58. He looks like he's 70. You know, it could be genes. It could be your diet. Smoking definitely makes you look older. He smoked as well. Could have been alcohol withdrawals. Who knows? Could be any number of things. You know, maybe he's a heavy drug user when he was younger, and it's finally catching up. There's a lot of things that can hasten your mortality. I drink on occasion. I don't smoke. I might smoke weed once or twice a year, depending on the circumstances. I'd like to try harder drugs just for the sake of understanding them, but nothing further. I don't intend to become a drug addict because I've tried speed so far, and I can see why people would want to use it, but at the same time, why you gotta smoke it? Oh, well, because it gets into your system faster, of course. Me, I just used it like Adderall when I tried it, and it reminded me of Adderall, and I got a lot of shit done that day. But when you feel like everything about you is disappearing, it's not really wise to stop. I mean, it's up to you, really. It's not up to me. And this isn't me being dismissive and just saying, oh, well, fuck it, it doesn't matter. It's more... I mean, it's true. It doesn't matter what I say at all. But I think it's a good idea that everyone continue to grow, improve themselves in some way. Because one, when you improve yourself, you increase your own self-worth and your own self-value. So if you're learning new skills all the time, then if one of those skills gets replaced, yeah, you might feel a little sad, you might feel a little worthless, but then you can realize, you know, I still got a fallback. It's like all those college football guys, basketball, sports in general, bunch of college sports guys who go into school for the college scholarship because they did really well in high school, football, basketball, etc. They got a scholarship, full ride, no big deal. And then they don't finish because they go into the major league. So they don't end up with a degree. They end up with nothing. They end up with not nothing, of course. They end up with a contract for a major ball club. They make millions of dollars. They have sex with a lot of women. They do pretty much whatever they want. But then they get injured, or they're no longer able to play the game. They're too old. And they haven't saved any money. They haven't invested it in anything that's going to have a return later in life. And then they come out of football or basketball or what have you. Their education hasn't improved. Their wallet, for the most part, really hasn't improved either. In fact, a lot of them come out of it in debt. The only way to keep afloat is they go when they become commentators or consultants of some form, coaches, etc. If you're lucky. But not everybody can do that. The pool of applicants gets quite a bit smaller. the further on you go up that ladder. And they don't have a college education anymore. They probably didn't have much of one when they left college anyway. And they got nothing to fall back on. They've got no additional skills. And as envious as many of us may be of their life, we aren't envious of them when that happens. There's a reason why I'm going back to college. I'm 33. I can go back to college. As long as I'm not brain dead, I can go to college. Granted, I'm going on the government's dime right now, because that's the way that I can do it. And when the real time comes in, when crunch time comes in, we'll figure out what I'm trying to accomplish. But I would rather go the route that I'm currently going than go the route that I used to go, which is afraid, not willing to take these chances, not willing to try new things and improve myself. Just day in and day out, doing the same thing, hoping somewhere everything would fall in my lap. Funny thing about that, I can recall pretty much on a nearly daily basis, at some point when I was security, I would imagine that I was Wolverine. Now, granted, at the time, the X-Men series was quite a bit more in its heyday, if you will. So that may have had something to do with it as well. But even if the movies weren't out, even if I had already seen them and it had been a year, months, or what have you, I would still think about it. Because I felt that if I was Wolverine, it wouldn't matter anymore. I could do whatever I felt like. I wouldn't die, so I could learn whatever I wanted to learn. I wouldn't have to really worry about dying of starvation, because worst comes to worst, I can go kill my food and eat it. Nobody could hurt me. Nobody could make me feel bad, really. But, you know, immortality does have its negatives, but I could work any job I wanted to. I could do whatever I felt like, because I was smart, but I didn't have the physical self, the resilience that I thought I would need to do whatever, because I thought that would give me the confidence. It's like, well, I can do whatever I want now, so I have the confidence to do whatever I want now. Which, it sounds great, it sounds amazing, fantastic. But I don't think like that anymore. I don't imagine myself as Wolverine like I used to. I think it's because I'm finally taking on the challenge myself. I've found a level of resiliency that I didn't possess at that time in my life. And funny enough, I feel better about most of my choices. I feel less afraid, more willing to challenge myself, to take risks. No, I'm still not where I'd like to be, of course. But I know I'm in a better place than I was